the things that is kind of the topic right now is I think you guys are picked maybe 5th in the division. Does this have a feel to where you guys were at 2 years ago in 2021?
Oh, yeah, there's definitely been talks about that, like coming off that 2020 season, and people kind of thought we weren't going to be anything going into 2021. Proved a lot of people wrong that year. So, I mean, we talked about that a little bit, you know, and, you know, we're looking to just prove people wrong again. You know, we know what we have. We know the talent that we have, the team that we have, and we know we can get the job done.
How much does it help to have guys who've gone through that, like the ups and downs?
Yeah, it definitely helps. You know, like throughout a season, you can't get too high and you can't get too low. So, and that's the same thing with fall camp. You can't just have straight aggression and all that stuff. So you gotta have controlled aggression and all that. So I mean, we have a lot of guys that have been through the lows and been through the highs. So it definitely helps.
Something Coach Tucker has mentioned quite a few times today is like being real intentional this summer about like team building stuff and like leadership, you know, type of stuff. You know, why do you think that was necessary, and what do you think you guys are getting out of that?
Yeah, just coming together as a team a little bit more. You know, and that, I think that just helps in all aspects of the game. So I mean, we've been doing a bunch of stuff. Just recently, we had a little putt-putt outing as an offense, and you know, my team won. You know, I am probably one of the better golfers on the team. But you know, it's just little stuff like that that helps. You know, get away from football for a little bit, get the guys together, and just do something fun. You know, it's a little different, good change up, especially going into camp. You're getting the guys together, doing things. Just keep that team morale high. You know,
is that stuff needed more these days? You think when you can bring, you know, it's not like you come in with your 20, 30 guys and you guys go through your 4, you know, just bigger numbers of people coming and going all the time with the portal. Does that stuff become more important, you think?
I definitely think it helps. I think it helps a lot. I think it is a little bit more important now, like in today's game, than it was, you know, even when I really got to college in 2019. So I think that helps. We got a lot of new faces in the locker room, and, you know, just like knowing people outside of football, I think that really helps your team a lot. So,
from a player's perspective, I mean, do you feel like, and this is probably a little bit beyond you because you grew up in this, but it seems like the camp culture that you guys go through now in football allows you to make those relationships quicker maybe than, you know, having 4 years. You were able to meet some guys on the fly and kind of build relationships on camps and weekends, right?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know exactly.
But do you feel like it's a different culture that you guys are able to be fluid and play with different guys?
Yeah, it definitely is a little different, just with like how normal it is, people, you know, coming in, coming out. So I mean, we've definitely, you know, seen a lot more new faces, you know, semester by semester, and you know, I mean, shout out to Coach Tucker though, because he brings in great people and makes that really easy for us, because he brings in people that want to be a part of our culture that we have in Michigan State. And, you know, so when you have two guys that are very similar, you know, in a locker room full of guys, I mean, it makes it very easy to get on the same page fast.
No question, that's one nice picture.
Why did it work?
Send that to me later.
Why did it work in 2021 when you guys had that many guys?
I mean, we just gelled. I think last year was tough because we went through a bunch of injuries, you know. So I think we had a talented roster last year. I do think we had that. I think we had some unfortunate things happen that season, and you know, we're looking to get back to what we were in 2021. You know, I think that, you know, we had the roster to do that. We had the skill to do that. And I think, you know, last year was a fluke year, and we are, you know, we're back to where we need to be.
Did that give you an appreciation or a sense for how there's not much of a difference between an ultra-successful season and one that can go off a cliff a little bit?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing this year is we have more depth, and we realize how important that is. So when a guy goes down, you know, because it's football, you know, things happen. You know, we pray that it doesn't, but it does. So I think we have a lot of depth. We have a lot of guys that can step in and play, that we trust to play, and can get the job done at a high level. So I think that's a big difference from us last year to this year.
I have a question for you about the Indiana game last year, and it's very far-fetched, but what was something that you guys learned from that game and how you incorporated that into this season, maybe how you see the entire season and that game against Indiana coming up?
Like I said before, you can't get too high, you can't get too low. I mean, we thought we had things going in the beginning of that game, and, you know, I'm not going to say we got complacent, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it was unfortunate what happened. And, you know, just learning from that and just realizing that, like, everything, you got to be focused on the now. You can't overlook a play, a series, a drive, anything. You always got to be focused where your feet are. And, you know, we've learned that, and we're not overlooking anything, any day, any opponent, any practice. You know, we're just coming to work every day.
It sounds like the Michigan game might be a night game. It could be the first one at Spartan Stadium.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about that.
It sounds like it's very possible.
That'd be cool. It would be awesome. Whenever that game is, we're gonna show up. So it could be noon, it could be night, it could be 6 a.m. We're gonna show up and we're gonna play. So.
You were on the roster for the night game in Michigan, right?
Yeah. Last season?
Yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah.
But there was one before. Was that the second one? Was that the first or second?
Last was 2017.
Seven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last year is my only time.
Okay. So is there a difference in playing that game in particular at night, like when you have a 4-day wait?
No, I don't think there's that big of a difference. I mean, it's just kind of how you handle night games as opposed to, middle of the day games and morning games. So, I mean, the game doesn't make it different. You got those nerves heading into any game. So, we treat every game the same. That's a big game for us, obviously. But, it's no different than any other night game we have.
I'm sorry if you were kind of asked this already, but has the off-season been different this year? In what ways has it been different than past years? And as a leader, have you tried to help direct in a certain way?
Yeah, we always adapt. So our strength coaches, Coach Tucker, he always adapts to, whatever we need as a team. So, it's changed a little bit. We're going to be a lot more fresh going into fall camp this year and try and prevent some of those unfortunate injuries we had. So, they put together a great game plan. Our off-season's been great. We've gotten after it. And, we've been smart, too, though. So I think that we've had an excellent off-season.
How about for the line? Because they haven't, in the roster, they haven't updated the new rates and everything. How did you feel you guys came out of summer conditioning as a group physically?
Yeah, I think we're all at our peak right now. I think everyone's had I think I've had my best offseason I've had, and that can be said for just about everyone on our offensive line. So I think that this group is at the best it's been. So, we've taken this offseason extremely serious, and we've been working every single day because, we don't want to repeat it last year. We want to be the team that leaves a mark. Our goal is to win every game on our schedule, and we've been training accordingly to that goal.
Do you feel like yourself?
Last season, you laid the foundation here. If that's the case, what do you think this year is about?
This year, it's just like staying true to our standards and how we view success. And we want to win every game on our schedule, and that's what we train to do. So, that's our standard is, we want to end up here at the end of every season.
JD, I wanted to ask you, being an Ohio guy, how much were you recruited by Ohio State? And, what do you remember about that process back in high school?
Oh, yeah, I joke around, being from Ohio, I never really was an Ohio State fan. They recruited me, they offered me and all that process, but, it's just like any other offer. So I was committed to Michigan State, and I stayed true to Michigan State because this is where I wanted to be always. And, they're a great program, no shade to them at all. That's just just because I'm from Ohio, I wasn't really raised an Ohio State fan.
What was it about Michigan State that appealed to you?
I got lucky because before I would say the coaching staff, and I committed to a completely different coaching staff, but I would still say the same answer because our new coaches that we have been excellent. So, Coach Tucker's done an excellent job bringing in a great staff, and Coach D also had a great staff. So, the culture, it's changed in different ways because it's two different coaches. No coach is the same. But I committed to a coaching staff, and I'm still committed to a different coaching staff.
Did you grow up as a Michigan State fan, or did you just kind of
I wouldn't say a diehard Michigan State fan, but I definitely rooted for them.
And what's it like just playing against Ohio State as an Ohio guy?
It's awesome. Playing against those guys is always a great opportunity. They've had a lot of success recently, so you always want to play against the best. And that's, as of recently, they've been one of the better teams. So it's great playing against them. I know I got some family from there, and it's fun. It's cool. It's a good experience.
Do you expect for yourself and St-Mac to be a strength, having played together next to each other for a long time?
I think that, our offensive line as a whole could be a strength for our team. That's what we're working for. It's awesome having Nick back next to me. We've been playing together for I don't even know how many games now. But, we have a great chemistry, great connection. And, I think our offensive line as a whole could really be a strength for us this year.
In what ways do you feel like the offensive line can be better than last year?
Just reestablishing that run game. You know, we're taking that upon ourselves to get that fixed. You know, last year, that's not who we are as a team. That's not who we are as a unit. And we're thinking about this year. We want to put, 3 yards back. You know, we want to reestablish that line of scrimmage, knock it 3 yards back every snap. And that's how we're going to fix that run game, And that's who we want to be. You think Big Ten, you think Michigan State, you think running the ball. So we want to get back to that.
You lost Hayden and Keon, during that period. What was it like for the team? Like, what was the discussions like internally?
Yeah, I mean, it happened when we were going on to a break. But both of those guys, I'm so close with both of them. They're both great people. I wish them the absolute best, and I'll be rooting for them. But the team that we have now is the team that we have now, and we can win with what we have. And I respect their decisions. They got to do what they think is best for them, and that's their, that's what they needed to do. And but now we have what we have, and we have enough.
Did it surprise the locker room when it happened? Did it surprise you guys?
So we were kind of going on to a break during that time because we had that month off or 2 weeks off when it happened. So we weren't really together. But I'll tell you, when we came back, we didn't bat an eye. Nothing really changed. We're still Michigan State. Our team is bigger than 2 players. So, we knew that we still had the same goals. Our goal is to win every game on our schedule, and that didn't change just with the departure of 2 players.
JD, you talked about you want to get your offensive line going, get your running game going. Do you think this offense can be close to a 50-50 balance in run-pass, or when you look at your receiving core versus your
I think we have the ability to do whatever the game leads us to do. So, sometimes you find yourself in games where you got to throw the ball more than run it, and vice versa. So, I think that we do have a balanced offense to where we can cater to which one's needed at that moment, So, I think both can be strengths for us. I think as an offensive lineman, we want to run the ball,
You'd rather do that.
Yeah, we want to run the ball. Yeah, we want to run the ball.
Do you sense the second stringers are starting to come of age a little bit?
Yeah.
Maybe more so than in past years?
Yeah, I would say that, we're back to having that good depth on the offensive line to where, if a guy needs a blow, if something happens, a guy can step in and it's not a fall off.
Who are some of the young guys that are impressing you that maybe the fans haven't seen yet in the offensive line?
Ethan Boyd's had a great offseason. Kevin Wigington's had a great offseason. I know he started the last 2 games, but Gino's had a great offseason. And, Keyshawn, I can go on and on. I think all of our guys, I think that room's really stepped it up.
Is Ethan going to be in that mix, do you think?
That's his goal, and that's his plan, and I think if he keeps going how he's going, I think he has a great shot to be. I think he's had an excellent offseason, and I'm really excited to see him play this fall camp.
How important are the tight ends for the offensive line?
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, it's huge. And that's a group that I talk to all the time. Just let them know how much we appreciate them, because I know they want to get the rock. They want to get the receiving yards, touchdowns, but I just let them know how much we appreciate them just putting their hand in the dirt and blocking with us, and they know that we really appreciate that, and it motivates them knowing that how important we know their job is.
In the league, he's going to be the starter this year most likely. There's a big group of new tight ends in there, and some guys that are returning and so forth.
Yeah.
Who's on the rise there at the help at tight end?
That group, it's just that there's a lot of guys that can get the job done. I would name every name, so I'm not going to go into it, but I would name every single name in that room of guys that could step up and impact a game for us. And that's blocking and pass catching. I think, no block, no rock. I know our receivers say that, but I think that holds true to the tight ends too, and they know that and understand that.
For sure. Go ahead.
A lot of people thought that 2021 was for the program. How much do you see that this year maybe is similar in that sense, or it could be similar? And if that's the case, are you guys, determined, to make this kind of a swing year for the program?
Yeah, we want to get back to that because, that was a successful season, and we want to be even more successful than that. Our goal is to win every game on our schedule. We didn't do that in 2021. We want to do that this year. But I think we are back to that. I think last year was unfortunate. I think that we had a talented roster. Some things happened that, is out of our control. But I think this year we've done a lot better job preparing guys to play if their number's called. And that's crucial to a season, having a guy that steps up in a game when there's not really that fall off, so that's huge for us.
You do have a first-year starting quarterback. How does that change? You talk about being able to run the ball, just the pressure on the offensive line to be solid and carry more of the weight?
I mean, we always want to have that pressure on us. You know, we always want to have it be where the quarterback doesn't have to worry about the pocket. You don't have to worry about that. You know, we got your back. And that's how, no matter who's back there, we're going to take it upon us to make the game easy for them. Because we want their jobs to be as easy as possible.
Did it feel like a year ago, obviously, when you guys were banged up and you had less depth and all that stuff, like having somebody who had a little experience back there could hang in there was probably more important than it would be today?
Yeah, I mean, probably a little bit more important because, you know, you can, you know, slide protections, all that stuff if you see a blitz or anything. But, you know, I trust that, you know, Noah's been sitting behind Peyton for a couple years and Caden's been there too. And he's seen both of them work. Both of them have seen Peyton, how he went about the game. And, you know, both of them are very smart in, you know, in terms of our offense and our offensive line play. And they know, like, where the hots are, where the blitzes are coming from. They know how to get our protection right. And that's both of them. They both have seen it, and they both have repped it in practice.
Does it feel different when you're blocking for new running backs, when Carter and Mangum? Are they different?
They're two different backs for sure, but I would say, I mean, our scheme's our scheme and our blocks are our blocks. You know, we're trying to be the best we can be every snap. So, I mean, you can put anyone back there. We're going to play as hard as we can play.
Are there some running backs that utilize blocks and set up blocks better than others in past years? and you guys kind of know the guys that are pretty good at that.
Yeah, I mean, I trust our backs very much so to make us look good. You know, so I mean, I think all of our backs are capable of making us look really good and making those cuts and, you know, setting us up for big plays and having a good run game, having a great run game.
What do you think went wrong last year in the run game? Which you think you want to get better, of course, but what went wrong?
Yeah, I mean, it just ties into a bunch of stuff. I mean, if you look back at a lot of our games, we weren't really in the best position to be running the ball. I think that plays into it, kind of playing from behind a little bit, having, you know, being forced to throw the ball a little more. But I mean, I'm not going to point fingers at anything. As an offensive lineman, it's on us, and we have to be better. And, you know, I mean, it doesn't really matter, you know, what the numbers are. As an offensive lineman, we got to get the run game right. And we take that upon ourselves. We want to make life easy for those running backs.
Do you, as a group or individually, have any specific goals that you want to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, every single game we want to have a 100-yard rusher. We want to have, you know, 200 rushing yards total. I mean, that's our goal. Every game, 100-yard rusher, at least.
Have you seen any changes in, like, the way Coach Cap coaches you guys from last year to this year?
Coach Cap is an outstanding offensive line coach. Outstanding. I mean, he's one of the reasons I came back for another year. And just he will take zero complacency. I mean, every single day you are back to the wall. You got to produce. And, you know, that fire is what makes him such a good O-line coach and pushes us every single day to be the best we can be. He gets the most out of us, and that's great from him.
What were some of the other reasons you came back?
I knew how last year ended. That wasn't how I wanted to go out as a Spartan. You know, I've been here that was my 4th year. I've seen the highs, I've seen the lows. I didn't want to go out on the low. I mean, I trust our roster. I know what we have. I know what we can do, and I want to be a part of it for another year. And then obviously Coach Cap.
Sorry if you already been asked about Peyton. You know, obviously transferring out of spring ball. I guess.
Yeah.
Somebody who's been playing with him, you know, 2-year captain. I guess what's your outlook on replacing, you know, him with a new quarterback? What you see from those guys competing?
Yeah, I mean, both of those guys, Noah, Caden, I mean, they've stepped up tremendously. I mean, it's iron sharpens iron right now. I mean, they're the way they compete every day is making them both better players than I've seen them be in, you know, prior years. So, I mean, and I you know, Peyton's one of my better friends. I wish him the best of luck. I'll be rooting for him every single game. He did what he felt he needed to do, and I respect his decision. But, you know, we still have our goals. Like I said, I mean, our goals are to win every game on our schedule, and we feel like we can definitely get that job done with whoever suits up that goal behind us.
What's your putt-putt?
Steady hand, man. Steady hand.
Every day in practice, you against the D-line, there's a lot of new faces on the team.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me about those guys?
Yeah, I think our front seven is going to be a really, you know, good part of our team this year. And, you know, going up against like a guy like Simeon Barrow, you know, he's had a heck of an offseason, and I'm really excited to go against him. Just like I said, iron sharpens iron. And the more guys that we have that can make plays on the D-line, and we're seeing them every day in practice, that's just going to make both of us better. So I'm really excited to go up against those guys. I mean, there's a lot of new faces, and, you know, it's going to be very exciting to see what they can do throughout fall camp. I'm really excited about that.
Is there any one guy that you've been most impressed with?
The new faces, man. I mean, I want to hype up the whole team. I think everyone's been great. You know, you got a guy like Tamisha coming in. I think he's a heck of a player. I'm excited to see what he does this season. You know, he was here with us for spring ball. You got a guy like Jalen Sammy, who's just a huge human being. So I mean, I'm excited to go against those guys. You know, we got a lot of different type of players. You know, JJ, Dre, all those guys.
And Jacoby Windman at 250 pounds is an inside linebacker. Of course, he played some defensive end last year. But he's an offensive lineman. When you work against him in practice, is he a little bit uncommon with his size and ability as an inside linebacker?
I mean, he can do it all. You know, you see him in all different types of packages. You know, obviously he's played 2 positions since he's been here, and he's done very well at both of them. I think someone told me he might have been the only player to win Defensive Player of the Week at 2 different positions. So, I mean, in the same season, which is pretty remarkable when you think about it. So, I mean, he's a very good player, and we get better going against him every day in practice for sure.
JD, has there been any position this offseason that you've seen take the biggest leap, whether it's in the weight room or in practice?
I don't know if I can point out one specific group. I think we've all, like, as a team, we've just elevated. I mean, every single group. I mean, I'll say this: our lifting group that I'm in is offensive line, defensive line, and I've been here for this is my 5th year. I think this last month of July has been one of the better months of lifting I've ever witnessed here while I was at Michigan State. So I mean, I can't wait to see what happens when we get the pads on, because, you know, we like to say the game starts with us. You know, the game's won and lost of the offensive and defensive line. So I think that it's gonna be shown that we can win games, you know, leaning on us.
In what ways has it been the best? Just guys hitting personal marks?
Yeah, just guys getting bigger, faster, stronger. The energy we bring is different. I mean, it's just, you don't have to hype up anyone. I got goosebumps thinking about it right now. I mean, I can't wait to put the pads on because we've been getting after it this offseason.
I saw the picture of Coach Cap cooking up some steaks for you guys last week. Does Coach Cap make a good steak?
Oh my gosh, man, weight went up a little bit, which is good. Need to get the weight up. So
You like your steak? I mean, you like your steaks?
Medium. Got to go medium rare possibly. We got to fix a couple guys. Couple guys got well done, so I mean they got to learn how to eat. You know, they got some issues, so we got to straighten that out. But I mean, Coach Cap, he's always doing stuff like that for us. You know, we're always getting O-line activities going. I mean, he's just a coach you want to play for. I mean, you want to play for Coach Cap. I mean, I think, you know, I think he just won like Big Ten offensive line coach or something like that. I mean, it's showing. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, you want to play for him every single day. He makes practice fun. He makes meetings fun. And he makes you the best player you can be. And that's what you want from an O-line coach.
Pardon me if you've already been asked this, but you talked about the putt-putt game.
Yeah.
What about the course? I mean, how are you guys out in the course? Because I saw Noah and those guys. The quarterbacks go out in the real course.
Listen, I played with Noah and Caden a couple times, and I got both of them confidently. So, I mean, I will say this, Peyton was a good golfer, so that's where we kind of lose something at quarterback. I'm playing. But shout out to Peyton, he's a very good golfer.
So who's got the longest drive?
The longest drive? I'll give it to me. I mean, I got a $35 driver. Someone stole my golf clubs out of my trunk. So, I mean, if anyone knows that someone that stole some golf clubs, they're probably mine. But, I mean, I pride myself off the long drive. You know, it's kind of my game right now. Got to chip away at the short game, get that a little better. But, I mean, I'm around like probably 320, 330 off the drive pretty consistently.
Nice. That's pretty good.
How have I know you guys have been talking about a lot of team bonding activities.
Yeah.
Dodgeball, mini golf. How's that thing?
Oh, it's awesome, man. That just helps the team, like I said earlier. I mean, just however much time you can spend with your guys outside of football. Just you don't even got to be doing football stuff, talking football. Just getting to know your team, it just makes you so much better. You know the guy you're fighting for next to. You know maybe a little more personal stuff, all that. So I mean, that's going to help us a lot. I know it's little things that might go over some people's heads, but in the moment, just getting all of us together, it's fun too. It makes it fun.
Anyone surprise you with their dodgeball abilities?
I mean, the quarterbacks were lights out in that regard. So, I'm trying to think. I think I won that too. I think my team won that. Don't take my word on that, but I'm pretty sure that my team won. I'm almost like 100% positive. So, I mean, I'm coming for Trey Mosley. Trey Mosley almost had the triple crown of activities. He had bowling and then like a game night or something. It was like trivia night, and then I knocked him off on putt-putt. So, I mean, I couldn't let him get the triple crown. His head's already big enough in size, not in
Coach Bielema was asked about the Barbie movies. Have you guys seen Barbie or Oppenheimer? It's a big weekend.
Those we got to go and see those movies. I was talking to a couple guys about seeing those. As an offensive line, we actually just saw Insidious 3. So that was a pretty solid movie. You know, I mean, I like horror movies here and there, but I definitely got to see those movies. Those look pretty good. Pretty good stuff.
I'm sure you were asked about this.
Energy going. Yeah.
I'm sure you were asked about this, but just the young guys that you've got coming up. I mean, you obviously came back for an extra year and same act, but as mentors, what have you seen and who have you seen emerging among those young guys in the off season?
Just seeing all those guys progress each day is, you know, it's awesome to see that because, you know, I've kind of seen a lot of them since their first day here up until now, and they've gotten a lot better. You know, and guys like Ethan Boyd, like I said, I want to name them all because they all work so hard and they all deserve credit. And I don't know who's hearing this stuff, if they hear it, like I want to shout them all out because they've just been working so hard this off season. And, you know, we're very demanding of them. You know, it's not easy. We don't make it easy. You know, as being a leader, I work to, you know, gain the trust, gain the respect of the guys. So when I do call them out and have uncomfortable conversations, they might hate me in the moment, but they understand I have the best interest for them, you know. And building those relationships over the last couple of years has put me in a spot where I can, you know, really hold those guys accountable. And in the moment, they're, you know, it's like it sucks being held accountable, but at the end, they're like, thank you. That's what I needed.
Have you noticed, like Coach Tucker has said, just as you've come through the program, the freshmen keep getting bigger and bigger frames?
Bigger, faster, stronger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do a great job bringing in very good players, and our strength staff, our coaches, our nutritionists, they do a great job getting those guys to be at their best. So, I mean, I think we got something really good going.
With the veteran nature of your offensive line, does that enable you guys to do more, have more volume of plays and run more and improve intricacies and so forth?
I mean, our playbook is our playbook, but we can start taking a look at the bigger picture of things. So, I mean, we can have more complex conversations about, do we want to add in this wrinkle? Do you want to add in this wrinkle? Like, guys can understand that more instead of just being so, like, day one basic stuff. We can start advancing our knowledge, you know, and just start learning. We can look past just the playbook and start learning more about the defenses and start using better terminology.
There's a lot of fans that were concerned with the last game of the season being moved from Spartan Stadium to Ford Field against Penn State at 9 on Friday.
Yeah.
So on some level, you guys will sort of lose your senior day or it'll be moved up. But, how do you guys feel about that game?
I mean, that experience is going to be once in a lifetime. You know, I mean, I hope to be playing in stadiums like that for a while. But, you know, I mean, it's just awesome being able to be in an NFL stadium and do that. I know it's on, I'm pretty sure, Thanksgiving weekend. So, I mean, I think it'll be awesome. I think, you know, a lot of times people go home. We have a lot of people from the Detroit area, so I think that'll be a great turnout. I know there's a Lions game on that Thursday, so I think there's going to be I think this city's going to be bumping. I think it's going to be a really cool experience. I'm excited for it. When I first saw it, I mean, I got excited about it. So
the game against Michigan is going to be at Spartans Stadium is going to be a night game now. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I haven't really heard about that, but I mean, we'll play them anytime. You know, I mean, we'll play any game anytime. You know, just tell us when and we're there, and they're going to get our best game. Everyone's going to get our best game.
What makes you most pumped for this season?
Just having that taste in my mouth from last year, and just knowing what we can do as a team, and what our goals are, and how hard we've been working. I mean, it's just. I mean, this has been one of the longest summers because I've just been dreaming about putting the pads back on and playing. I mean, it can't happen any faster.
What can this team do?
I mean, our goal is we're going to win every game on our schedule. That's our goals. I mean, we don't expect to lose any game. You never go into a game expecting to lose. So, I mean, it's just a successful season for us would be winning every game on our schedule. That's how we look at it. That's how we train, and that's what we want. You know, and that's what we're working for each day.
What's the message on Tuesday that you tell the guys when you get in there and on Wednesday when you start practicing? What's the first thing you say to get the focus?
Just lay it all out in the line. I mean, don't be afraid to put yourself out there and go to a place you've never been. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to do something you've never done, you got to, you know, push yourself harder than you've ever pushed yourself. So don't be afraid of it, embrace it, and just work as hard as you can every single day, and I promise it'll pay off. I mean, that's our message.
practice being a little different this year, trying to prevent injuries. How has that experience been for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be huge for us. You know, like I said, you know, something that happened to us last year was just the injuries. And like I said, Coach Tucker, his ability to adapt is second to none. I mean, he saw that, understood it, and then bang, he changed it. I mean, not many coaches are moving that fast. And to have someone like him that is so conscious of that, I mean, it helps us out. It's going to be a tool for us this year, going into week 1 feeling like it's week 1, not feeling like it's week 8, you know? Not saying that's what happened last year, but I mean, it's going to be different this year. They're making a conscious effort for that, and that's how it's going to be.
How was practice this year?
We haven't gotten into it yet. I mean, we've just been doing our off-season lifting, but, you know, we've been getting bigger, faster, stronger, and we've had the best off-season we had, so it's been great.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Thanks, man.